Today on Global News Morning, fixing the foundations. Regina's mayoral candidates discuss infrastructure in the Queen City. Plus, a rivalry renewed. The Riders eagerly await this weekend's rematch of the 2021 West Final against their rival, the Peg Blue Bombers.
You're watching Global Regina. This is Global News Morning.
Good Tuesday morning, folks. I'm Brenden Purdy. Thanks for joining us here on Global News Morning. The Queen City is aging, and throughout the municipal election campaign, questions on infrastructure, building new, and replacing old continue to be brought up to candidates. As Sarah Jones tells us, those running for mayor are eager to bring new ideas to the table. The early voting window for Regina's municipal election has ended with the closure of advanced polls on Monday night. Now, these polls gave voters a chance to cast their ballot and to avoid crowds on Election Day next week. Early voters at Regina's South Leisure Centre said convenience is what brought them out to vote.
It's easy access, less people, and makes it easy, and then you've done your job.
Oh, so that it's done. And actually, next week I might not be able to because of things in my life.
Just convenience, I think, more than obviously you don't have to wait in line for 3 or 4 hours. It's always nice.
So you found it pretty smooth sailing in there?
Easy peasy, no problem whatsoever.
Advanced polls reduce the lineups, and you can get in, get out really quick. I'm on my lunch break, and so it's nice to get here, get it done.
Election Day is slated for Wednesday, November 13th. As voters across Saskatchewan head to the polls to elect a new mayor, councillors, and school board trustees, some may find themselves unfamiliar with the duties of a trustee. The Saskatchewan School Board Association says trustees are responsible for setting education policies and initiatives prioritized by those that they represent. Trustees have to balance local education priorities with provincial ones, something the SSBA says can be a tough job.
You know, that's part of the big work. It's bringing together both that local voice and which provides local choice in education, but also staying focused on that really big picture, big visionary kind of work that needs to happen in education as well.
School board trustees may seem slightly overshadowed by mayoral candidates on the ballot, but they're just as significant when it comes to making important educational decisions. Tributes are pouring in from across the country for a man who dedicated his life to championing Indigenous rights. Murray Sinclair died on Monday morning, surrounded by family. The 73-year-old was Manitoba's first Indigenous judge and the chair of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. The Saskatoon Tribal Council and its member nations were one of many to pass on condolences to Sinclair's family. Jury selection began Monday for the trial involving a Regina chiropractor, Dr. Ruben Adam Manns. Manns is facing multiple sexual assault charges after 2 women accused him of inappropriate and unwanted actions while being treated. Manns, who owns and operates Argyle Natural Health Center with his wife, was charged back in April of 2021. The trial gets underway this morning. All right, folks, Moises joining us now for a look at the weather. And Moises, this afternoon, it's starting, and then into tonight, and then tomorrow morning, precaution on the roads because things are going to be slick out there.
Yeah, when you're talking about a temperature close to that 0 mark, and you're talking about when it's rain, well, then you've got like the possibility of freezing rain, and then it could turn into snow. It looks like snow for this evening, Brenden, but yeah, this afternoon, that's when we're talking about that chance of sleet out there.
There's still frustration over the healthcare system here in Saskatchewan, with a new study suggesting more than 4 in 10 people are avoiding medical care due to long wait times.
Nearly everyone across the country has an example of the healthcare system not being there when they needed it.
The polling was conducted by Ledger for the Canadian think tank Second Street. It suggests more than 1 in 10 Canadians also seek health care outside of their province or the country to avoid those wait times. A Saskatchewan gridiron battle is slated for this weekend as the U of R Rams take on provincial rivals the USask Huskies in the Hardy Cup. The game marks their first meeting for Canada West football supremacy in 22 years. The Rams have required some late-game heroics to get to this stage as the Hornheads scored a touchdown with less than 20 seconds to play, upsetting the West-leading Manitoba Bisons last weekend.
Yeah, we've been through some hard times in this program, and I think that makes the team stronger. Losing 5 straight games after going 2-0, and you're kind of almost out of the playoffs, right? You're on life support, trying to keep everything alive, and to kind of work through that and do it together as a team, I think that made us stronger. So I definitely think that's a big advantage that we have going forward.
Despite a 1-3 start to their season, the Huskies come into the Hardy Cup winners of 5 straight.
Every play, every call, everything is just, I think the level of importance just increases because you just never know. The thing in football, there's always a handful of plays and that are going to affect the outcome. And you just never know when those handful of plays are going to come. So you don't take any play lightly.
Both coaches say they anticipate a tight game, as every game so far this season between the two has been decided by 5 points or less. Just ahead, Election Day, south of the border. Americans head to the polls to decide who will be the next president of the United States. But before we get to that story, let's take a quick peek outside, looking through the lens of your Global Regina City Cam. More Global News Morning continues after this short break.